I always speak about discernment. I always try to throw in there that this is not an angle and this is a well-roundedness thing. All right, and if you're not hit to what the word well-roundedness means, it means everybody in together, grafted olive tree. All right, so you can only come in together no matter what you are, who you are, unless you carry a certain characteristic and trait. All right, I have a personality and a mindset that is of God and godly. That's the only way. There's not no, okay, I'm gonna come over, be godly, and then still carry my little cultural traditions and stuff like that God was against. It's not happening. Well, this is where I'm from, you know, I gotta do these traditions, I have to do this. No, if that's ungodly, that's something that you're gonna have to disconnect from. So we need to learn to disconnect from what we used to be and come into what God wants us to be. A lot of people don't know how to disconnect. The scriptures sit down and say, not of your own understanding, but of God's understanding. How can you learn to disconnect if you don't come to God's understanding? If you can't even leave your own understanding? There's no such word as logic. See, logic leads down to different paths and different ways of you wanting to find an excuse, a reasoning, all right, to something that you want to justify. You can't have logic, because logic leads to your own scientific belief. What? Man came from apes. There's got to be some logic behind it. Come on now. Isn't that something that you know that the devil will whisper in your ear? And a lot of people stray because they need to justify an answer to a means, and a means for a reason. So if you cannot disconnect from your own characteristics and come into God's characteristics, what is the use of you saying that you are saved by grace? What is the use of you saying that you're saved by grace if you can't disconnect from who you are and stop justifying the means? Stop trying to come to a logical answer, a logical reason, a justifiable means. We have to learn that a disconnection from a lot of the worldly things that keep us entrapped with so much want. We see so many advertisements coming out that, I mean, you could watch a TV show and you're going to see more advertisements and commercials than you actually are on a TV show. Why? Because it's the mindset of the material things that people chase after. It was these things that God didn't like, but he turned around, pulled a trick on the world, made everything reverse of what it was. Because if everybody wants to have materialistic things, if everybody wants to sit down and have power, fame, and glory, guess what? Then you have to disconnect in order to be with God and carry his traits and his characteristic. So that was the trick in the trade. And a lot of people we're seeing can't disconnect from that. So don't let the word justify or logic play a major role in your life. Because once you do that, you're still holding on to a little thread and not disconnecting. Learn to disconnect from your characteristics and find the Lord Yahweh's through Yeshua. His characteristics by the word, the mindset, the spirit, and the emotion.